This world has convinced us that our worth lies somewhere in the future once we do certain things. But in reality, the truth is your worth, it's inherent. You're inherently valuable. You're inherently loved. And again, you are inherently deserving of whatever life you want without having to do anything else.
What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Now, this video is going to be probably the last video I make on the topic of looksmaxxing. A lot of guys have been emailing me and asking me about, can I talk more about looksmaxxing? Jack, what do you mean when you say looksmaxxing? Looksmaxxing is cope. Some guys still don't get it, so I'm going to make a video breaking it down. You know, a lot of people may get offended and triggered by this video because it may destroy one of the final copes many men are clinging to for dear life. But before you get all upset and offended, just watch the entire video first, or don't, go waste your time doing mewing or eyelid pulling or some of that other cringy crap. It's your life, but your average looksmaxer is incredibly delusional and also kind of fucking stupid as well. Now, I know a lot of looksmaxers tend to be young, and there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. There's nothing wrong with grooming yourself, but a lot of looksmaxers tend to be young, and they tend to be young and very fucking stupid. And that's not an offense because I used to be that way too. I don't want to. I'm not saying this to be mean, but the level of delusion that guys have is crazy. The desperation is insane. And I won't lie. At one point, I was also very delusional as well, and it took some time for me to finally come to terms with the truth. But when I try to explain certain things to a lot of looksmaxers, they still don't seem to get it, and they believe that there's still some looksmaxing technique they just haven't discovered yet, or dudes be obsessed reading research papers on the most obscure surgeries. Dudes be literally like on Google Scholar researching like the evidence from fucking the most weirdest surgery. But see, here's the thing: accepting that you look a certain way would be much easier and faster and cheaper and mental health and better for your mental health than looksmaxing to some dumb and unachievable standard that you've imposed on yourself. Stop wasting your time obsessing over women. Accept where you stand and just let things happen organically. Give up the pursuit. Give up the chase. Looksmaxing only exists really for like out of shape people and people with like acne or some like glaring issue. That's who benefits the most from so-called looksmaxing, just fixing their problem. And people with poor grooming. Another one is poor grooming. I used to do looksmaxing plans for people, and one of the main things that I always noticed is that they basically have a lack of grooming. It's just a lack of grooming. A lot of guys are just like, they just look like they just woke up out of bed. They don't do any type of grooming, any type of basic grooming, hair trimming your beard, fixing your skin, fixing any issues. They don't do anything. They don't do anything, So a lot of the looksmaxing is for people with poor grooming. The basics are pretty much everything. The only people who really looksmaxing really works for is mainly for people who are high body fat, or somebody like a lot of guys just literally get a better haircut. Instead of like having their big ass forehead show, they get like a broccoli haircut and then cover up their forehead and then say, "Oh, look, I looks max, bro." And then they take a picture in better lighting and like glowing light so they look better, and they like hold their jaw out to show that like, "Oh, look at my face too." And it's the same shit. A lot of people post those online pictures and it's all just frauding. It's all frauding, just different angles, better angles. Dudes be doing the most smallest things that won't have any effect or impact at all over how you look. Either a woman finds you attractive or they don't. Simple as that. All that fucking stupid looksmaxing crap. Looksmaxing. Also, looksmaxing. Another thing about looksmaxing is that looksmaxing is a form of white supremacy. It pushes how white is better, and also Eurocentric features are better while ignoring Afrocentric features. It's a thing that people have been doing for years. Just basic shit, basic grooming. There's nothing new. There's nothing fancy. Guys come up with these weird terms for looksmaxing, but looksmaxing pushes the idea that white is better. It pushes white supremacy, all in all, looksmaxing is just the next grift. This is all, this is why influencers are now pushing looksmaxing, because it's just the next grift. It's the next belief that people believe will solve their problems, and any semblance of hope you give people, they're willing to latch onto it. As long as it sounds believable with their own beliefs and it's congruent, they'll hop onto it. But this video is coming from someone I used to help guys Looksmax. I used to create Looksmaxing plans, and I probably did. We probably did at least maybe a couple hundred, maybe even close to 1,000 Looksmaxing plans. And what I noticed is that, we were just saying the same stuff over and over again. Skincare, proper haircut, fix any big issues like acne, maybe your teeth are fucked up, or maybe grow some facial hair, go to the gym, lose weight if you're fat, or maybe add a little bit of style and figure out a style that you like and just rock your style. That's pretty much it, basic grooming. And I noticed that there was only probably like less than 1% of guys who were genuinely ugly or had some type of like deformity where they genuinely needed surgery. But most were just ungroomed. They just looked unkept and ashy looking. People were paying me to tell them to go buy a bottle of damn lotion and get a haircut. Dudes are just looking ashy as hell and then wonder why they not, oh, I need to look smack. Nigga, just go buy a bottle of lotion, you ashy motherfucker. Dudes be ashy as hell, skin fucked up, and talking about, oh, look at my transform. Dude, you just fixed your glaring issues, bro. That's it. But guys treat Looksmaxxing like it's a skill or a sport. Dudes be knowing all these weird terminologies and shit like a plastic surgeon. Dudes be knowing all the damn definitions of every bone and muscle in your face like they're in med school. The best Looksmaxxing journeys are typically people who already look good, but they usually are fat or overweight or something, and they just need to like lose weight or switch their haircut or something like that. But usually the Looksmaxxing journeys, the transformations are the extremes, and the extremes are not the norms. But, the fact that we are willing to call basic hygiene and grooming, such as eating healthy, staying lean, staying clean, and taking care of your skin as an entire program, Looksmaxxing just demonstrates how far we've fallen as men. It shows how far we've fallen as society, where guys are clinging on to any small semblance of hope. you know, it feels like everything is some program now. Everything due to social media is being consumerized and used to manipulate people, in this case mostly men, to gain a quick shot of happiness and a potential fix. If you're a teenager trying to Looksmax, a lot of Looksmaxing is getting older. A lot of people will post their Looksmaxing transformations. They'll post a picture from when they were a teenager and then post a picture when they turned 24 and talking about, look at my Looksmaxing transformation. It's all marketing. It's all propaganda. The grifters have now latched onto Looksmaxing, and Looksmaxing is mostly cope anyway, But I get a lot of people who always ask me, why do I say Looksmaxing is cope? And, I think Looksmaxing is the final cope for most guys. Typically guys will have tried game, they tried social circle, they tried maybe PUA, code approach. They probably have tried everything, and they usually go red pill, black pill, and then they Looksmax. Looksmaxing is like the final cope. And I think this is why guys have a hard time understanding that Looksmaxing for the most part is cope. And it's the last thing that most guys try to do to cope with before they are forced to accept the truth. After Looksmaxing, there are really no more copes. Where you stand is pretty much where you stand, and that's it. Guys treat Looksmaxing like it's a solution. It's the last line of hope that a lot of guys cling to. But here's the harsh truth, and I'm gonna say the harsh truth for a lot of you guys. The chances that you are going to Looksmax your way out of where you stand genetically are extremely slim for the majority of people. That time is better spent finding some activities you enjoy to meet people, perhaps. If you are non-neurotypical, meaning that you're not just an NPC that use the same slang, use the same language, try to fit in, try to be cool. If you're like a different type of person who is kind of like outside the norm, then you can't Looksmax your way out of that. Most women want men who will make good partners when it comes to long-term dating, unless you show signs of like a lot of signs of being neurotypical and normality or even like simpish behavior. You can't Looksmax your way out of your situation. You have to accept that you are different. A lot of people who are in the Looksmaxing community tend to be neurodivergent, like on the kind of like not autistic or Asperger's, but they're just like they're not neurotypical. They're not like using the same slang and like acting really cool. Their inhibition is kind of high. And you can just tell that they're not like normal. You know what I mean? Some people can fake it more than others. I think I'm good at faking it because I've been that way. I was forced to fake it throughout my lifetime. I was forced to fit in. I played sports. I did all these things. That's another thing too. Like playing sports and all of these things actually will probably have a bigger impact on you than looks maxing. If you're a teenager, go join like intramurals. If you're in college, go join like an intramural sport team or some shit, bro. Like all this looks maxing crap is a waste of time. It's a cope. You are average before you looks max. You will still be pretty much average afterwards. Yeah, you look more polished, you look more groomed, but you're still average, especially if you're older, over the age of like 22 or something. If you're a teenager, you can try some of this stuff and it might work. Like mewing. If you're like 14 years old and you start mewing, I do believe that could possibly help because you're still growing. But after your like teenage years, if you're like in your 20s, bro, like it's GG, my guy. If you're average, you're pretty much going to be average. And what I mean when I say looks maxing is cope is that there's no breaking out of whatever group or like category you're in, or level you're in. If you're just a average, slightly above average guy, you're not going to break out of that category no matter how much you looks max. Even surgeries that aren't going to work. You just look weird. Most surgeries just look unnatural for most people. There are some people who it does work for, but most people look weird and fucking just weird. Women don't really like super square jawlines and like giga hunter eyes. That shit looks weird. It looks alien to most people because it's so far outside the norm. And so looks maxes are mostly just fucking dumb and low IQ. A lot of them are just low IQ, are just no experience in life and just think looks maxing is going to solve that. Guys are stressing about beauty standards they have no chance of ever reaching. Dating is getting harder and harder, faster than you can self-improve, faster than Stacy swipes left on a 5'5" ethnic from Bangladesh. Guys are constantly searching for some hidden information that they can access about looks max, and they're looking for some hidden information. Dudes are like making up weird fucking cringy terms like eyelid pulling, ice hooding, belt pulling, thumb pulling, bone smashing, lemon bottle fat dissolve. this is dude this is the desperation of men, guys. Dudes are so fucking desperate. Now, wonder a woman is like, ugh, these dudes are so try. You guys, these looks maxers try way too fucking hard, bro. And it's obvious. When a guy is trying too hard, it's very, very fucking obvious, bro. You know, you must realize when it comes to dating, looks matter, yes, but looks are not really the main problem when it comes to dating. It's deeper than that. I've actually talked about the main problem, but most guys don't, they're not going to listen. They don't, it blows over their head. Most guys can't fucking understand shit for nothing, you know? But I've come to the conclusion that most looks maxers aren't really and truly black pilled. Many looks maxers cope just as much as the trad people or the red pillars. Looks maxers only focus on the tip of the iceberg and I try to get guys to think deeper, but most guys still don't fucking get it, and they probably never will get it. You know, most of looks maxing is just mental masturbation to help you cope and to think that there's still hope for you to become the Stacy Slayer that most guys are trying to become. You know, there's no need to try so damn hard. It's clear that most guys are trying way too hard. Guys are so delusional and desperate. They'll be willing to believe anything as long as it sounds good. Most guys are fools to think that just looks maxing is just a matter of identifying your payloads and eliminating them one by one, and then focus on creating halos like getting a jaw implant. Dudes are just so naive, bro. And they try to get some surgeries and just end up looking weird and fake as hell. But they think it's just fix my phalos and then create halos, like get upper eyelid surgery or get a fucking jaw replacement or get my skull increased or some weird shit that these guys are researching on Google Scholar. you know? And this is what I mean by looks maxing as cope. Not necessarily that grooming and polishing yourself won't help you. Eyebrows, hair growth, skincare, medications. If you have hair loss, maybe getting on finasteride, whatever, going to the gym, proper haircut, fashion, that type of stuff. I'm not saying that shit doesn't matter, but that's shit that is common. That's like normal shit. That's nothing like looks maxing, like it's crazy, but just accept that most of it was determined at birth. Where you stand is where you stand for the most part. Dudes be using, teenage pics of themselves, like I said earlier, using teenage pics of themselves and then post a pic when they turn 24 and then put it side by side and make a thumbnail and then tell you, hey, looks maxing works, and they sell you on some stupid fucking course. It's all marketing and propaganda. And this is what I mean by many young men are extremely delusional and coping with looks maxing. Just go ahead and accept where you stand. Just go ahead and accept it. Like I said, you can't groom yourself. I think most guys are not destined to die alone. Most guys can find a girlfriend, bro. Like if your biggest problem is that you can't get a girlfriend, you are like, I don't even know what to tell you. I really, you're probably going to struggle in life. If your biggest problem is that you can't get some fucking girlfriend, bro, you probably have a hard life ahead of you, because a lot of guys are just so dumb and stupid, just low IQ. And if you're not like intelligent enough, you are going to get duped so many times as a man. You're going to get scammed and just told anything as a man so many times. Just go ahead and swallow the truth now and then later. Again, like I said, still groom, polish yourself, but understand that it was all determined at birth, And here's the thing, a lot of guys obsess over Stacy. They want to get very hot women. Most guys want to fuck hot girls. This is what most guys are trying to get. They don't want just a 4 out of 10, and they want some like 7 out of 10 girl who they view as a Stacy. They want like a fine ass dime piece, and I don't blame them. That's not nothing wrong with that, but here's the harsh truth. Accept that you will probably never get the hot bitches that you want based off your looks alone. You simply don't look good enough, and you never will. You don't have it in your genes, brother. I'm sorry, you don't have it. You don't have it in your genes. In the West, you will be dating, when you looks max, you will still be dating women who are 2 to 3 levels below you, unless you perhaps passport or get your money up so you can trick off a little bit. The money, it might not be genuine if you trick off, but at this point, does it really matter, to be honest? It's all the same. Guys are trying to be loved. Forget about all that love bullshit, but getting a girlfriend is easy, but most guys want Stacy's. They want hot girls. So they think looks maxing is going to be able to get that for them. And more than likely, your looks alone is not enough. You will be forced to compensate some other way. You will have to compensate. Your looks won't be enough. So get to work, get your wallet fat, maybe some status, get your passport, reputation, become powerful. I don't know. Compensate. That's the only way you'll ever receive top-notch women that a lot of guys desire. Your looks are simply not enough. And get that through your fucking head. Accept it. Otherwise, accept your fate of dating women 2 to 3 levels below you and who still think they're better than you. Looks maxing will, at best, get you to basically fuck 4 out of 10 thoughts. And guys are so desperate thinking they could just, thinking that just getting laid is success. Guys looks max and then get laid and think that's success. You dumbass. If you're willing to settle with a 4 out of 10, then go ahead, be my guest. But Jack, I see fat and ugly guys with attractive girlfriends all the time though, bro. That's exactly the point, you fucking fool. They're compensating some other way more than they're compensating some other way. Exactly what I just fucking said. They're not really relying fully on their looks because they understand it intuitively or subconsciously. They're compensating some other way, like with money, wealth, or perhaps status, position, or a job or something. Or maybe they're just extremely charismatic, or some other way of compensating. But that's the point. If you want that type of level of female that most guys are desiring, and with the current dating marketplace as it is, you don't have the looks level, no matter how much you looks max. So you'll need to overcompensate in some other way. No matter how many surgeries you attempt, none of it will work. If you just want an average looking or slightly below average looking girlfriend, that's fine. Go ahead. But from what I've seen, most guys want a certain caliber of females, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you're doing all that obsessing over looks maxing, all that work to only smash 4 out of 10 thotty boxes. Oh, but surgeries, bro. Dude, for the most part, unless you have something deformed, surgeries will only make you uglier for the most part. You'll only look more weird and more uncanny, dude. Trying to fraud your shitty genetics back into the world is just pitiful. Accept where you stand, accept what it is. Maybe you compensate a little bit in some other ways, and it is what it is. Get over the looks maxing, give up these copes. This is why I say looks maxing is the final cope for most guys. Because after you let go of looks maxing, you realize that where you stand is pretty much where you stand. There is no more copes. That's it. You've come to the end of your journey with the whole self-improvement, looks maxing, red pill. That's it. The only thing left is the truth. You know, facial structure and height are what really matter. The things you cannot change. Your facial harmony, your phenotype. And this is the problem with men. They think they can solve problems with systems and solutions. Just how the PUAs tried to do and all the rest. Dudes really be thinking they can mechanically brute force their way into something that's extremely rare, which is great looks. They think they can just brute force their way into that. Most guys in general are just severely ungroomed, and then after looks maxing, they're now groomed and they look polished and put together. But they're still average before and they're still average after, or slightly above average, wherever you stand. You will never ascend higher than your bones, and accept that. In my opinion, this is actually probably the hardest pill to swallow, that there's just not much you can do. You reach a point in life where you run out of copes in terms of trying to brute force your way up the mating hierarchy, where you just got to compensate. You got to find other ways to compensate. Get your passport where you're more valuable somewhere else. Money, status, powerful physicians, whatever it is. There's a bunch of ways you can compensate, but your looks are not enough, more than likely, to get you what you want. Guys act like if you comb your hair for 5 minutes every day and you put ice cubes on your face, then it will take you to the next level. All these marginal details don't matter much for men. For men, it mostly comes down to bones and facial structures. Even if you have great skin and good eyebrows, but your facial structure is meh, you'll still just be average or below average, bro. You'll still be viewed and treated as average. Your phenotype, you also cannot change your phenotype. The sooner you accept this stuff, the better off you will be. It'll mentally free you and also improve your mental health. Many guys are better off accepting that they will always struggle if you aren't born with certain things. And it doesn't, it doesn't mean you're destined to die alone or you're destined to be an incel forever or nothing like that. But you're not going to be the Giga Stacy Slayer that guys are trying to be. You're just not. Just find you a cool average or below average girl if you want a girlfriend, and then just check out the game, bro. Just go ahead and check out if that's what you want. I don't even understand why guys obsess over relationships. Guys are obsessing trying to be put in a cage, which doesn't make sense to me. The only obsession with looks maxing is, like I said, if you're fat or high body fat percentage, But yeah, get a haircut, get the broccoli haircut, all that stuff that guys are obsessed over these days, and cover your forehead, whatever it is. Take care of your skin, don't get fat, work out, take care of yourself, groom, facial hair, whatever. But all this is basic shit, like I said, it's nothing really new. Guys acting like they discovered something new, like they discovered water. guys, I figured it out. Just mix vinegar and salt water together, bro, and then drink it every day. And then, bro, guess what? Your mandible will grow, bro. Your face will change. Just trust me, bro. Do it. Guys be treating looks maxing like it's a sport or a skill that they can practice. But guys treat looks maxing like the game gurus who are constantly thinking there's some secret hidden word or some conversation piece that will improve their game. Looks maxers are literally the equivalent of that. But looks maxing is the final cope until you have to finally accept where you stand and essentially fully move on to focusing on just other areas of life. Maybe just focusing on enjoying life, or focus on getting a good financial situation, which is far more reliable than any woman will ever be. If you are average, below average, slightly above average, let's just say you're a sub 8 male, then money is everything, because nothing else will improve your life objectively the way money will. Most guys cope thinking, oh, money doesn't buy a genuine desire. Dude, that genuine desire bullshit. I need to make another video on genuine desire, because I'm starting to realize that genuine desire, I'll make a video on that, but money is everything for most guys, and I said this because, see, money is hard. It's easy to go Looksmax. It's easy to go cut your hair or do some other shit. But see, making money and making a lot of money, let's say 150K and above, is hard. It's not easy. It's very, very hard to do. Money is everything. It's literally 75% of life. And the other 25% is physical health, mental, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But money is everything. Without it, without money, even if you can get laid, your life will suck shit. And no woman will probably want to stick around anyway. If that's your concern, you will suck shit and your life will suck shit. You need money. You need enough money so that you can live very comfortably and have a nice life. People who cope and tell themselves, oh, money isn't everything, bro. Money almost buys everything. And most people are stuck in a rat race because most people don't make enough money. So most people complain and they cope that, oh, money isn't enough. No, most people don't make enough money to live comfortably and to do what they want. So they cope and tell themselves it doesn't matter. You're better off focusing on career maxing or money, or getting your money up and getting paid. So instead of doing all this looks maxing crap, go get paid, bro. Go focus on getting paid, because at the end of the day, that's all that's going to matter anyway. Money is everything. Money is literally everything. So anyway, that is it for today's video. I'll see you in the next one.